Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. Today our lecture is as a continuation of yesterday's lecture and today's second part of local anesthetics. And I am Dr. Nilofer Yusuf Waraj, your assistant professor from Department of Pharmacology, here to demonstrate you about local anesthetics. Having a slight glimpse on yesterday's lecture, we discussed about its definition, its classification, a little history, its structure-wise changing characteristics, and then what were the various factors which were affecting its action. So let's see what are various actions of local anesthetics. Locally, what are they doing? They have two kinds of actions, local and systemic. Let's have a look at local actions of local anesthetics. All local anesthetics have effects of nerves acting via sodium channel, such as sensory endings, nerve trunks, neuromuscular junctions, ganglion, and receptors. Sensory motor fibers are equally sensitive depending upon their diameter and types of fibers they are possessing, such as we discussed yesterday. Small fibers are more sensitive than larger ones. We discussed it yesterday. Myelinated nerves are blocked earlier than non-myelinated ones. Then comes autonomic fibers are more susceptible than somatic ones. Orders of blockade in general are pain are more receptible than temperature, then comes touch, and then deep pressure. So pain ones are blocked more rapidly and at first preference. Clinical uses of local anesthetics. Local anesthetics are categorized by the method of administration. How they are going to be administered according to their uses described or enumerated. They are topical anesthesias, infiltration, field block, nerve block, intravenous regional anesthesia, then comes spinal anesthesia, and epidural anesthesia technique is obtained by local anesthetics. Topical anesthesia, anesthesia of mucous membranes. Topically, we are getting analgesia, anesthetic effect. Tracheobronchial, tree, esophagus, and genitourinary tracts are included in them. Anesthesia produced by direct application of aqueous solutions of salts or suspensions of the poorly soluble local anesthetics. For prolonged duration of action, low concentration of vasoconstriction is added, such as phenylephrine. And other examples of topical anesthesia are lignocaine, xylocaine, I told you before, is more commonly used for mouth ulcers, mouth sores, and cocaine and tetracaine. Infiltration anesthesia. Local anesthetics injected directly into the tissue, which may be superficial tissue of the skin or deeper structures, including intra-abdominal organs. And you can see one of the local infiltration of general anesthesia, how it is injected and how it is infiltrating directly into the tissue. The duration can be doubled by the addition of epinephrine to the injection solution. And here are some of examples of anesthesias used for infiltration anesthesia, such as lignocaine, procaine, and bupivacaine. Then comes field block anesthesia. It is produced by subcutaneous injection of a local anesthetic solution in such a manner as to anesthetize the region distal to the injection. The advantage of field block anesthesia is that less drug can be used to provide a greater area of anesthesia than when infiltration anesthesia is used. Look over here. Infiltration anesthesia was used where anesthetic effect was needed. ठीक है, field block anesthesia is used, injected where region, area, place is somewhere else than where the anesthesia is being injected. ठीक है. So just look at that. Okay, we are injecting somewhere else anesthesia, but effect is needed distal to the site of administration. Examples are lignocaine, procaine, bupivacaine. Then comes nerve block anesthesia. Injection of local anesthetics into or about individual peripheral nerves or nerve plexus. ठीक है जी, they are directly injected into peripheral nerves or nerve plexus, and their actions are inhibited by this nerve blockage. Examples: same repeating: lignocaine, mepivacaine, and bupivacaine. And we should add epinephrine in it in order to prolong its duration. Intravenous regional anesthesia, using the vascular system to apply the local anesthetic solution to the nerve trunks and endings. It is used most often for the forearm and hand, but can also be adapted for the foot and distal leg. And that's why we are blocking brachial plexus. For example, lignocaine and procaine. Here is the example how brachial plexus is supplying into various parts of our upper trunk, upper limb, and if we'll block brachial plexus, how anesthetic analgesic effect will be observed in whole of our upper limb. Spinal anesthesia, injection of local anesthetics into the cerebrospinal fluid into the lumbar space. You can see how it is being injected. It is mostly used in big surgeries, in of course C-section 2. For example, lignocaine, tetracaine, and bupivacaine. Then comes epidural anesthesia. It is injected into epidural space, and different compositions used for it. A different composition used for epidural anesthesia are bupivacaine, etidocaine, lignocaine, chloroprocaine. So these were how different topically or by different routes of administration we can be benefited by local anesthetics. Now let's see what are the various undesired effects of local anesthetics. Here I'll say one thing. In the start of the lecture we discussed uses according to locally how it is working, and how systemically by various routes of administration, injectables, we can carry out local anesthetic activity. Now see what are the various undesired effects of local anesthetics. On CNS, these are biphasic: stimulation, then depression. So they are causing the anticonvulsive, pre-seizure signs, tonic-clonic seizures. They also cause CVS, depression. So they are being used as antiarrhythmic. Myocardial depression, cardiovascular collapse. Respiratory, they are causing mild bronchodilation. In CNS, there is stimulation, more sensitive than cardiac. Dose-related spectrum of effects, and all effects are due to depression of neurons. First, an apparent CNS stimulation is seen conveyance most serious, and then it is followed by CNS depression, and it may lead to death due to respiratory depression. Premonitory signs include ringing in ears, metallic taste, numbness around lips. कोई फीलिंग नहीं होगी आपको, आप टच करोगे आपको बिल्कुल लम्प्ड हो जाएगा. Then due to cocaine, euphoria is felt, unique in its ability to stimulate CNS, and we know that. Then comes lidocaine. It causes sedation even at non-toxic doses. In cardiovascular system, it leads to hypotension. Arterial dilatation is a result of direct effect, and it is mostly seen by procaine and lidocaine. It blocks postganglionic sympathetic fiber function. It causes CNS depression. It can be avoided by adding vasoconstriction, vasoconstricted, and that is epinephrine to the preparation. Cocaine is exception, produces vasoconstriction. We all know that, and with cocaine we do not need to add vasoconstrictor. And this line can come in your MCQs in your prof. Blocks catecholamine reuptake. ठीक है जी? It also causes arrhythmias. It is direct effect. It decreases cardiac excitability and contractility, decreased conduction rate, increased refractory rate. All can cause arrhythmias if concentration is high enough. In antiarrhythmic drugs, we studied that lidocaine is used as antiarrhythmic drug. Lidocaine is local anesthetic. And we studied that one of the major side effects of all antiarrhythmic arrhythmic drugs is that they cause arrhythmias. So they are also causing arrhythmias. All can cause arrhythmias if concentration is high enough. Except cocaine is exception as it is stimulating the heart. Methemoglobinemia. Some local anesthetic metabolites have significant oxidizing properties. This may cause a significant conversion of hemoglobin to methemoglobin and compromise ability to carry oxygen. This may be a problem if cardiopulmonary reserve is limited. It should be treated with oxygen and methylene blue as we discussed during our anti-anginal treatment. Methylene blue is converting methemoglobin into hemoglobin, and this is mostly seen by the usage of prilocaine, benzocaine, lidocaine. Hypersensitivity is common with the use of local anesthetics, and it was mostly observed with esters. Common with ester and local anesthetics: rashes, angioedema, dermatitis, and rare anaphylaxis. Sometimes typical asthmatic attack may also be caused. It may lead to neurotoxicity. Local anesthetics can cause concentration dependent nerve damage to central and peripheral nervous system. Their mechanisms are not yet clear how they are causing neurotoxicity, but permanent neurological injury is rare to see, and it may account for transient neurological symptoms. Specific local anesthetics. Let's discuss some of the local anesthetics with their specific properties. First of all, we will talk about procaine. It was first synthetic injectable local anesthetic. It produces the greatest vasodilation of all currently used local anesthetics, and its combination with vasoconstriction is very, very necessary. Its onset is slow. It is used for soft tissue anesthesia, in which 15 to 30 minutes anesthetic activity analgesia is required. Systemic toxicity is negligible because rapidly destroyed in plasma. Maximum recommended dose for peripheral nerve block is 1000 mg, not more than it. Then comes lidocaine, most used anesthetic. The most popular contains epinephrine in 1 to 100,000 units of epinephrine and provides good anesthesia for healthy patients. Lidocaine with epinephrine in 1:50,000 is used for hemostasis, but because of the rebound effect noted earlier, it should be used sparingly. So it is safest as well as potent and most widely used. Xylocaine के नाम से भी ये आती है, and it is mostly used topically. Most widely used amide linked local anesthetics and most versatile analgesic. Has variety of applications like local, nerve block, topical. When used locally, action starts within 3 minutes. More profound anesthesia has longer duration of action and greater potency. but its overdose can cause muscle twitching, convulsions, cardiac arrhythmias, fall in BP, hypertension, coma, respiratory arrest. And it is one of the most popular antiarrhythmic drug too. It is various doses how we can use lignocaine, and for especially in dental procedures, its therapeutic dose should be 4.4 milligram per kg. Then comes mepevacaine. 3% mepevacaine without a vasoconstrictor is used as an anesthetic for patients who cannot take a vasoconstrictor or for short procedures. ठीक है जी, it is appropriate for pedodontics and for use on geriatric patients, मतलब के older patients के लिए. 2% mepevacaine with vasoconstriction provides pulpal anesthesia that is similar to lidocaine with epinephrine, but hemostasis is not as intense. Then comes prilocaine. The action of prilocaine plane varies with the area injected, longer with a nerve block. Prilocaine with vasoconstrictor gives good anesthetic effect and uses a 1/200,000 concentration of epinephrine. Its biotransmission is through liver, kidney and lungs. Articaine is a newer anesthetic, typically given in a 4% solution in 1:100,000 epinephrine concentration. Practitioners reported rarely missing the inferior alveolar nerve block with articaine. It means that it is a very good inferior alveolar nerve block is obtained by articaine. However, concern has arisen about its potential for tissue necrosis and persistent nerve paresthesia. मतलब के they are causing tissue necrosis and nerve paresthesia which is persistent. Then comes bupivacaine. Bupivacaine is used when pulpal anesthesia is desired for longer appointments and when post-operative pain is anticipated. Bupivacaine is not recommended for children or handicapped patients because of the increased risk of post-operative injury, chewing on the numb lip. ये मेरे साथ भी हुआ था. I went for a dental procedure and I was anesthetized and I don't know what was the drug and I just chewed my numb lip. So it is available as 0.5% solution in addition to vasoconstrictor. Its indication is to achieve pulpal anesthesia, and it is more than for 90 minutes. Full mouth reconstruction, extensive oral and maxillofacial surgery, failure surgery, management of post-operative pain. For pulpal, its duration of anesthesia is 90 to 180 minutes. For soft tissue, it is 4 to 12 hours. But it is contraindicated in burning sensation at the site of injection in children or anticipating self-trauma or in handicapped patients. Then come post-procedural pain control. We prescribe non-steroidal anti-inflammatory agents prior to the appointment. We use an intermediate duration anesthetic for the procedure. Then bupivacaine is injected just prior to the patient's dismissal. Direct the patient. In such patient, you should direct to take oral analgesics for a certain number of days following the procedure. ठीक है जी. इन शॉर्ट स्टोरी ये है कि जब भी कोई प्रोसीजर होता है उसके बाद पोस्ट प्रोसीजर पेन कंट्रोल के लिए यू हैव टू प्रिस्क्राइब NSAIDs which will be our next topic once we are finished with CNS. ठीक है जी. And use with NSAID we should give intermediate duration and anesthetic during the procedure. ठीक है जी. And then before dismissing the patient, asking him to leave, we should inject bupivacaine so we can get anesthetic activity for 90 to 180 minutes for longer time. Ropivacaine. It is prepared as an isomer rather than a racemic mixture. Greater margin of safety between convulsive and lethal doses. A newer bupivacaine congener, equally long-acting but less cardiotoxic. Sensory block is more compared to motor. So it is seen that bupivacaine is more cardiotoxic than ropivacaine, and it can come in your MCQ that which of the following local anesthetics is most cardiotoxic. So bupivacaine is one of them. Ropivacaine is being used for relief of post-operative pain. It can also be used for nerve blocks. It is available in US but not in India, and it is also available in Pakistan. Then comes hyaluronidase, an enzyme that breaks down intracellular cement. Advocated as an additive to local anesthetics as it permit as injected solutions to spread and penetrate tissues. So it is also acting as an aiding substance with, in addition or with mixture to local anesthetics. It is available as by days in a lyophilized powder and a stabilized solution. Added to the cartridge just before administration by removing approximately 1/8 of solution. We have observed allergic reactions with it. Local anesthesia is actually a complete technique. It cannot be, you cannot receive it so easily. It should be properly monitored, and with full focus it can be achieved. Let's see what are the various local anesthetic techniques. Topical. The local anesthetic solution is applied to the mucous membrane or skin through which it penetrates to anesthetize superficial nerve endings. Then comes it is something common, you can see it. It is mostly ointments containing viscous solutions, they are only applied. ठीक है जी, इसमें कोई syringe वगैरह यूज़ नहीं हो रही. Now comes infiltration. This is how we are achieving infiltration. Small terminal nerve endings in the area of dental treatment are flooded with local anesthetic. The treatment is done in the same place where anesthetic is deposited. Local anesthetic solution is deposited near the larger terminal in field block. What is happening? I told you before, in infiltration, localized anesthetic effect is needed. So anesthesia is applied where the anesthetic effect is needed, where it is not a phenomena same as infiltration in field block. So local anesthetic solution is deposited near the larger terminal branches, so the anesthetized area is well circumcised. Incision or treatment is done at an area away from the site of, मतलब distal from the site of injection of local anesthesia. Then comes nerve block. Local anesthetic solution is deposited close to the main nerve trunk, usually at a distance from the site of operative intervention. You can see we are injecting over here, and we will operate over here. Then comes supraperiosteal injections. You can see the syringe should be held parallel with the long axis of the tooth and inserted at the height of the mucobuccal fold over the tooth. Posterior superior alveolar nerve block. We can see incisive foramen, greater palatine foramen. Area anesthetized by a posterior superior alveolar nerve block, PSA nerve block, inferior temporal surface of maxilla, maxillary tuberosity. We will inject anesthesia over here. Then comes posterior superior alveolar nerve block, PSA, tissue retracted at the site of penetration. Kindly notice orientation of the needle: inward, upward, and backward. So that's why I was saying it is totally a technique, not so easy to achieve, especially in your field of work. See how it is being injected infratemporal surface of maxilla. It is middle superior alveolar block. Area synthesized by a middle superior alveolar nerve block MSA. ये था posterior superior alveolar nerve block. Needle position was inward, upward, and backward. Inward, upward, and backward. It is X-ray. That was just a diagram. Okay, here comes middle superior alveolar nerve block. Area is synthesized by a middle superior alveolar nerve block. These are different types of nerve blocks used for dentistry and dental procedures. Then comes middle superior alveolar nerve block. Tissue is retracted. Needle penetration for a middle, and it is how needle is penetrated in the center, middle, for a middle superior alveolar nerve block. Then comes infra or orbital nerve block. Anterior superior alveolar nerve block showing area anesthetized in 72% of patients. So we are using infraorbital nerve block in 72% of patients of dental procedures. Then comes inferior orbital nerve block की ही बात कर रहे हैं कि what we'll do, first of all we'll palpate infraorbital notch, ठीक है, on the face. It is over here and it will be felt like this. Then we will inject anesthesia, or we will anesthetize by injecting local anesthesia into these foramen. Insert the needle for anterior superior alveolar nerve block in mucobuccal fold over maxillary first premolar. Then comes greater palatine nerve block. This is the area which should be anesthetized by greater palatine nerve block, and it will be injected like this. Notice the angle of needle entry into the mouth. The insertion is into ischemic tissue slightly anterior to the applicator stick. The barrel of the syringe is stabilized by the corner of the mouth and the teeth. इसका मतलब है कि syringe को हिलाया ना जाए, बहुत carefully anesthetize किया जाए. Then comes nasopalatine nerve block. And this is the area shown in this picture which will be anesthetized after blocking it, and it is inserted or injected like this. Then comes palatal approach to anterior superior alveolar to extent of anesthesia, and it is injected like this. I have collected these slides, these pictures from Google, and I am really thankful to the people who uploaded this, as I am from MBBS, but these pictures will be very helpful to you in your clinical orientations, and over here as well, of course. Then comes maxillary nerve block. It is the area which will be anesthetized after blocking it. Maxillary nerve block. Maxillary nerve block, later palatine canal approach. We are approaching over here, greater palatine canal, and here we will anesthetize, and whole area will be anesthetized, and analgesia effect will be achieved. Look over here in diagram A. Maxillary nerve block greater palatine canal through greater palatine canal approach is being anesthetized, whereas in second deviant block greater palatine canal is also being approached. In each, note the location of needle tip. Then comes maxillary nerve block. Maxillary nerve block is blocked by approaching high tuberosity. Then comes inferior alveolar nerve block. This is the area which will be anesthetized by blocking it, and it is how it is approached and anesthetized. And just note the angle of the needle by which it is being carried. Both views are there. Have a closer look, kids. I really like these diagrams. Look how they are achieving the anesthetic effect, how they are injecting it. Then comes buccinator long buccal nerve block, and it is being injected in this way. You can say it. I think it is the most common route being used for root canals and stuff. Then comes mental nerve block. Then there is Gauguet's technique, and it was discovered in 1973. It is actually mandibular nerve block. First, we have to take the angle of the mouth with ear, and then we will inject and anesthetize the area. Look at this. Retract the tissue and inject our anesthesia in it. So they were very interested. I also got so much deeply involved in these pictures. Now coming back to the lecture, let's have a look at complications of local anesthetics. What are complications of local anesthetics? Defined as any deviation from the normally expected pattern during or after the securing of regional analgesia. They can be classified as primary or secondary, mild or severe, transient or permanent. Other can be classified as solution used or due to insertion of needle, and the third classification is according to local and systemic effects. Local complications can be enumerated as needle breakage, prolonged anesthesia, facial nerve paralysis, trismus, soft tissue injury, hematoma, pain on injection, burning on injection site, infection, edema, slowing of tissues, post-anesthetic intraoral lesions. Then comes systemic complications, which we have a brief look before. So, in CNS system, CVS, how it is affecting us. They are as toxicity, they are due to toxicity or their overdosage. Allergy is common. Idiosyncrasy can be seen in different human beings. Different action can unpredicted reaction can be seen. Syncope, hyperventilation syndrome. ठीक है जी, they are systemic complications. But if the question comes in your exam, write down the systemic complications. You should just merge both of the tables, both of the lists, and then write it down in your exams. Now, what is EMLA? It is eutatic mixture of local anesthetics. Eutatic means two solid substances mixed together in equal quantities by weight from a eutatic mixture. The melting point of the mixture is lower than the melting points of the individual components. It is one of the example is lidocaine and prilocaine become an oily mixture. ठीक है जी. In it we are using two different local anesthetics to get anesthetic effect. We can say that for the additive effects, analgesic effect. Then come TAC. It is actually combination of tetracaine, adrenaline and cocaine. It is topical anesthetic mixture found to be effective for non-mucosal skin lacerations to the face and scalp. It is applied directly to the wound using a cotton-tipped applicator with firm pressure that is maintained for 20 to 40 minutes. If it is needed to use to be in children, its maximum dose should be 0.05 milliliter per kg. Toxicity is seen due to cocaine presence in it. So kids, students, this was our today's lecture, and it is the end of local journal, a journal view of local anesthetics by my side. Tomorrow Dr. Manur will continue the lecture, but it would be it will consist of those local anesthetics that are more related to dentistry. Sorry for interruption. So I have prepared this lecture from your Big Gadsden Basic and Clinical Pharmacology and your Mini Gadsden Pharmacology Examination from Broadview review, and things are collected, pictures are collected from Google and SlideShare. So this was our today's lecture, and it was really. It was good. It was capturing. I also got very much involved in it, and I just lost the pace of the lecture in it after seeing so many pictures with you. So today's our assignment question is just enumerate the different nerve blocks, types of nerve blocks achieved by anesthetic blocks, nerve blocks. ठीक है. And what are the various complications of local anesthetics locally and systemically? Enumerate both questions. Enumerate means you have to enlist them. ठीक है जी. Thank you so much. If there are any questions, you people are more than welcome to ask me individually or in the group. This was all for today. Allah Hafiz.